Organ transplantation is, I mean, it's one of medicine's greatest miracles. But there's this incredible paradox right at the heart of it. You survive this grueling, life-saving surgery only to have your own body immediately try to destroy the very gift that just saved you.
That internal conflict is, well, that's the absolute core of transplant medicine. And that's what we're going to get into in this deep dive. Not just why the body rejects a new organ, but maybe more importantly, how medicine figured out how to get around it. And critically, the breakthrough wasn't with the knives, but with the drugs.
Okay, let's unpack that. Why is the immune system so aggressive? I mean, against something that's literally saving your life.
It's really an identification problem. Your immune system's whole job is to police the body, and it uses these unique proteins on the surface of every cell.
Right, the HLA or MHC markers.
Exactly. Think of them like personalized ID tags, a uniform for your body. A donor organ comes in wearing the wrong uniform. It has non-self markers.
And then when those tags don't match, the T cells and antibodies just see an intruder, and they launch an attack. They're just following orders.
Precisely. And what's so fascinating is that the very first successful kidney transplant, way back in 1954, it worked because they sort of cheated the system.
Oh, that was this famous operation between identical twins.
That's the one. It was this huge symbolic start because it proved the surgery itself was possible. But the real reason it succeeded was because the organs were, immunologically speaking, almost identical.
So it minimized the rejection problem before it even started.
It did. The real challenge was, okay, how do we do this for people who aren't identical, for relatives or even strangers?
So if that first big win was all about genetics, when did the pharmacology, the drugs, finally take the lead?
That big shift really happened in the 1960s. That's when we saw the first immunosuppressive strategies. They started using these early drug combinations, like azathioprine with steroids.
And that was enough to start doing transplants with non-identical donors.
It opened the door, yes, but it was a pretty heavy hammer.
Right, a kind of scorched earth approach to suppression, wasn't it? You're just hitting the entire immune system.
That is the perfect description. It worked, but it was brutal. We needed a precision tool.
Which I guess brings us to the compound that really redefined everything. Cyclosporine. How did that change the equation for a transplant patient?
Cyclosporine was the single greatest leap. It became widely used in the 1980s, and, unlike those earlier drugs, it was selective.
What do you mean by selective?
Its mechanism specifically targets the signaling pathways of T cells, which are the main drivers of that immediate acute rejection.
So it's much more targeted, more of a scalpel than a sledgehammer.
A much finer instrument. It allowed for incredible control over those initial life-threatening rejection episodes.
But breakthroughs like this, they always come with a footnote, don't they?
They do. And the trade-offs are huge. When you suppress the immune system that powerfully, you raise the risk for other things.
Like infections or even some tumors.
Exactly. And the drugs themselves can be highly toxic.
And that includes nephrotoxicity, which is just the cruelest irony, right? The drug saving your new kidney might damage it years later.
It's a constant battle, and it led to this huge philosophical shift in how we manage care. The goal is no longer zero immunity. That's impossible, and it's not even desirable.
So what's the goal now?
The goal is what they call a precise and necessary adjustment of the immune response. It's a lifelong balancing act. You're trying to stop the body from seeing the organ on the inside while also keeping it strong enough to fight infections from the outside.
And that whole synthesis, the surgery, the pharmacology, the immunology, was all finally cemented as a cornerstone of modern medicine with the 1990 Nobel Prize for Murray and Thomas.
That's right. It symbolized that this incredibly complex field had truly arrived.
So ultimately, the takeaway is that transplantation isn't just a surgical fix.
Not at all. It's a lifelong, constant negotiation with the body's most basic defense system. A tightrope walk.
So the final thought we want to leave you with is about the future of that tightrope. If the current state of the art means accepting these huge systemic risks of cancer and infection, what's next?
Yeah, imagine what happens when medicine can achieve targeted suppression of only the specific rejection pathways.
So you could turn off the attack on the organ, but leave the rest of your immune system completely intact to do its job.
What would that future look like? That's the next deep dive.